Hi, Stephanie here again, and thanks for coming back if you came back, and if it's your first visit here, welcome to my craft channel. Today we're going to be making another card, and the inspiration came from a very strange place, but here it is. We're going to be making a Snoop Dogg Christmizzle card, and like I said last time, inspiration comes from anywhere, so let's get to it. So I had to draw both of the main points of this card. So, and I know you're thinking, you're like, Steph, I can't draw a picture of Snoop Dogg, and my graffiti skills are not up to snuff. So what can I do? If you go and visit my blog, I have these as patterns, so you can just print them out, color them in, and make your own Snoop Dogg card if that's what you want to do. Or you can print them out and trace them, or you could, I don't know, hold your paper up to the screen and trace them, whatever. But I've already done the drawing for you. And then you can have little Snoop Dogs to put on everywhere. For the graffiti part, I did it with pencil. I looked up some examples of graffiti letters to do this, and then I just inked them in because I knew I was going to be coloring them with some alcohol markers again. And instead of putting Christmas, I put Christmizzle, um, which I guess I'll tell you a little bit about where the inspiration for this card came. Did you know that Snoop Dogg has a Christmas album? And it's called Christmas from the Doghouse. And it is my third favorite Christmas album of all time. My first, of course, is Disco Christmas. And second, of course, is James Brown's Christmas album. And if you haven't stopped this video to go and check out both of those albums, including and the Snoop Dogg album, then I'm not going to tell you you're wasting your life, but you are. So go and listen to Snoop's Christmas from the Doghouse. It's not just Snoop Dogg on it; he's got like all his buddies. But anyways, one of the songs is the night before Christmizzle, which I thought was hilarious, and I thought I need to put Christmizzle on a card, and so I put Snoop's head and the word Christmizzle on a card. So I drew these in pencil and then did some alcohol marker safe marker, and now I'm just coloring them in. So if you want to know the colors that I used, again, it's going to be in the description below, and all the details will be on the blog, so you can always go there. But I just decided to color Snoop in the way that I saw him. I didn't look up a picture of him. That's how Snoop looks in my mind. And if you do listen to the Christmas album, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't usually listen to Snoop Dogg's music because I think he sounds kind of sleepy. But I mean, I do like some of his songs. But what I really like is that he has a show with Martha Stewart, and so I really feel that he would appreciate being on a greeting card. So I'm coloring in my graffiti now. I decided red and green because Christmizzle graffiti should be red and green, and so I'm kind of speeding through this because it's pretty easy. I just did 3 markers now. Now, if you're not an alcohol marker colorer, you're like, why are you doing one letter at a time? Well, because they don't blend right if they dry too quickly, so I just did it 1 letter at a time. It was pretty therapeutic and kind of fun. So I decided to go with sort of this sunrise style of shading. So the top's going to be one color and the bottom's going to be another, and there's going to be some white in the middle. And I thought that made it look pretty good. I didn't really have a plan when I was making this card. All I knew is that it needed to have Snoop Dogg's head on it, and it needed to say Christmizzle. And mission accomplished. I think I really put those two together. I nailed it this time. I don't know who this card is going to be for, but I certainly hope they appreciate the level of commitment it took for me to draw both of these things. Anyways, if you want this Christmizzle card, just let me know in the comments, and we'll see if we can hook you up. I'm thinking of tweeting Snoop Dogg, because maybe he'll want this card. Because how many Christmizzle cards do you think he got? How many times do you think I'm going to say Christmizzle in this whole video? I don't know. We should start a counter. So because I didn't really have a plan, I was like, where should Snoop be? And I thought I was going to put like a brick wall or something, but then I thought, no, because it's the night before Christmizzle. So he needed to be on a snowy night scene, so that's where we're going. So I busted out the inks again, and I'm going to make a snowy night scene for Snoop Dogg and his Christmizzle to hang out in. So I'm just inking. Again, we're speeding through this because I spend way too much time inking things up. And I wanted it to be a nice sort of stormy night before Christmizzle. I really like saying Christmizzle. I think we should just start saying Merry Christmizzle as like another way of saying like season's greetings or happy holidays or, warm wishes. You could say have a good Christmizzle. And so I just inked it up a little bit and I left the bottom a little white. And as always with the water for some interest, it also looks like little snowflakes for the night before Christmizzle. And that's going to be my background. I'm adding some snow because no Christmizzle card is complete without snow. And I feel that I can say that because I have not seen a lot of Christmizzle cards, but I'm sure most of them have snow on them. In fact, I'm going to go do a Google search to see if there's actually any Christmizzle cards. Because if I have the first Christmizzle card, I'm a pioneer. So I just added some snow in the background. I didn't want to chance it. And I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what this card was going to look like with these two pieces. So I decided to have the graffiti part be like the focused and then like Snoop Dogg is like behind it. Like he's saying like, Christmizzle, y'all. And so that's where I came up with it. And then I decided that I played with it a lot because I had no idea what I was doing. Just because, you have no idea what you're doing when you're making the first ever Christmizzle card. But now that it's done, I'm sure that I've given some people some ideas. So I hope to see way more Christmizzle cards out there. Because it's fun to say Christmizzle. So I decided that I was going to put Snoop, his head, just on the card. And then I was going to pop up the Christmizzle so that it, on some foam tape, so that it like comes out at you. So I'm cutting down some black paper to mount it on. I like to mount my cards on some black paper. It gives it a nice little border. So lots of fancy measuring going on here. Just measure twice, cut once. That's what I was always told. I got a fancy new tape gun. That's a lot of fun. I don't have to change my tape gun as much. So I put my little Snoop head there. And then I thought it was missing something. It couldn't just say Christmizzle because that doesn't make any sense. So I needed to have a Merry. So I found a stamp set that said Merry. But it also said Christmas. And we all know that we don't say Christmas anymore. We say Christmizzle. So I just blocked off the Christmas part so I can just have the Merry. And then I'm going to emboss it in white so that it stands out. I also wanted the graffiti to stand out a little bit because it's pretty colorful and so is the background. So I have my little Merry section, and then I thought, well, you know what goes good with Merry Christmizzle? And a Happy New Year. So I'm going to stamp that and heat emboss it too so I can add it to the card. That way, if you know your graffiti reading skills are not that great, you know it has to do something with the holidays because it says have a Happy New Year. So even if you don't really know what Christmizzle is, I still got you. You still know what this card is about. So speedily, I really sped this up. I'm just cutting those out so that they're little labels. And then I got fed up with my trimmer because my papers were too small and decided to use my humongous scissors. Seriously, look at these scissors. And then putting it together. I think I skip over this because my camera dies, but I just decided to put Merry Christmizzle and a Happy New Year, which is, like I said, how we should be greeting each other from now on. A little trimming so that Snoop Dogg doesn't come off the card. And there you go. That's what it's going to look like. And I think it's pretty good. So I'm going to start gluing things on. I just glued Snoop on with I tried to use my glue pen here. It hates me. So I just used some white glue to glue Snoop's head onto the card so that it wouldn't move. I wanted everything else to be flat. I wanted the Christmizzle to really stand out. And then just to figure out where I was going to put my Merry and a Happy New Year, I just put the Christmizzle down and then glued everything together, and there you go.